Honey, I'm home. Got the milk you wanted. I know it's been about 25 years, but I'm home. Kids. Oh, hmm. Wait a minute. Wait just a damn minute. I am neither married nor do I have kids. Ladies and gentlemen, hey y'all, not to quote Outcast, but welcome back to the 11th installment of the Fourth Down Forum podcast. Let me just address it now, get it out of the way. I said I wasn't going to go on 2 week sabbaticals. And then what did I go and do? I went on a 2 week sabbatical. But I promise you, I'm going to do better about that. I had some shit going on, okay? But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to your 11th installment of the Fourth Down Forum podcast. I am your host who likes buttered toast, Derek M. Fuster. And we got a lot to get into if we consult my handy dandy notebook right there. Um, I was not planning on doing any NBA content until end of October, but seeing as there was a big trade that happened in the world of the NBA, I think we have to address it. So, for those of you who live under a rock or do not keep up with the world of sports, Damian Lillard has been traded to not the Miami Heat. Y'all thought it was going to be the Heat, didn't you? But it wasn't. Damian Lillard has been traded to the Bucks, the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know why I froze on the name for a minute. So it's obviously a huge trade. You got Giannis on one side, you got Dame on that team now. That doesn't mean that that super team stayed together, if you can even call it a super team. Debatable. That team did lose Drew Holiday, I believe. They lost some picks. So we'll see how this impacts their defense, because that's my main thing I'm concerned about. So yeah, not where Dame wanted to go. So we'll see. There was actually reports that came out that said Dame wanted to rescind his trade offer and try to repair things with the Trailblazers management. And management came out and said, "Nah, the damage is done. We're shipping your ass out." So with that said, it'll be exciting once NBA season starts up to see how Damian Lillard and Giannis fare. I've seen some people saying that this makes the Bucks the clear front runner to get to the finals in their respective conference, but we shall see. Other things. The world of NFL, we have a lot of news to cover. At the time of this recording, the Denver Broncos have released Randy Gregory. Randy Gregory was signed to a 5 year, $70 million deal in the offseason. The reasoning for the Broncos releasing Randy Gregory from his contract was so they could go younger, apparently. I call BS on that. Um, Denver is not doing well, let's be honest. They're decent, I guess, if you could say that, but it looks more or less like they're the same Denver from last year, even with Sean Payton in charge. That said, there is now a premier pass rusher on the free agency block. Um, Not to do this bit that all my Ravens fans like doing, but hey, Randy Gregory, you like crab cakes? Okay, I'm done. So moving on from one AFC West conference to or team to another, we got to talk about that man Chandler Jones. He has been showing erratic and crazy signs in his behavior, from things he posted on social media to just how he's been acting in real life. And it's a shame to see. I don't want to go out there and assume what it is, but we saw this with AB towards the end of his career, because there ain't no coming back from that. And it's a three-letter word that I really don't want to say, but he's showing a lot of signs and symptoms of it. So is it possible that this may be CTE? There's a chance, but you know, I can't say. There's a lot of NFL news, y'all. And I guess while we're in the AFC West, because this is just an AFC West heavy episode, we have to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to get canceled by the Swifties for this, probably. Sue me. I am sick and tired of hearing about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift dating. And not in the fact that they're dating. I'm happy for both of them, right? That's great. Fine, whatever. I am tired of seeing it on NFL programming all the time and mentioned in broadcasts and stuff. Hell, I'm having to mention it in my own damn podcast because it's notable news. You have to talk about it. But could you make the argument that their media, and no, let's get this straight right now because there is one thing I will say on both ends. Taylor Swift is not using Travis Kelce to elevate her career. She's already a multi successful artist. She's already up here. Travis Kelce is arguably the best tight end in the NFL, so she does not need him to elevate his career either. So let's squash that right now. Um, like I said, I do not care that they're dating. Happy for them, but it gets tiresome seeing it all over NFL programming. Yes, obviously she's gonna be at the games. Ooh, she went to the Jets game. Well, let's talk about that Jets game though, because Travis Kelce didn't play too well in that game, and neither did Mr. Kermit the Frog Mahomes. For the record, I like Patrick Mahomes, but you can't tell me he doesn't sound like Kermit the Frog. Zach Wilson outplayed Patrick Mahomes and is the first person to do so in his NFL career, and that's just crazy to think. Um, Might as well. We've already covered all the other three teams in the AFC West, so why don't we cover the Chargers? J.C. Jackson, at the time of this recording, has been traded to the New England Patriots, reuniting with Bill Belichick. Patriots always find a damn way, man. That's what made them a successful team for so long. J.C. Jackson agreed to, I want to say it was a 5 year, 80 something $million deal with the Chargers. Didn't work out for them. They're now down a corner, so they're going to have to go look to sign a corner. The Patriots gain a corner because their rookie quarterback, I believe, was it Christian Gonzalez? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But he is out for the season, so it makes sense why the Patriots would go and pick up Christian Gonzalez. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Why is this not surprising? Chase Claypool is disgruntled with the Chicago Bears. I don't know, man. Chase Claypool is just something else. He's not a number one receiver. Maybe he's a viable two, borderline viable two, number three for sure receiver. So I don't get what he can be disgruntled at. The Steelers went ahead and shipped him out. They were like, "We're done with you." So yeah, that happened. And I'm sorry I keep leaning down, but that's where I have my cup. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, that happened. Let me just check my notes. I just genuinely don't know about Chase Claypool anymore, and that sucks to say. The, Nope, one more NFL thing, and then we can talk about some other stuff. There's two quarterbacks who got paid big contracts this offseason who are not living up to their hype and who are not living up to their potential. I think this is for different reasons altogether. First off, this one's going to hurt being an LSU fan, being a Joe Burrow fan. Joe Burrow, what the hell is going on, man? I think, same way Jamar Chase said, his calf injury is holding him back. And if you don't agree with that, look at Joe Burrow's stats right now compared to last season. His injury is holding that team back. They just got blown out by the Titans. He has a team around him. You have Joe Mixon, you have Jamar Chase, you have T. Higgins, you have Tyler Boyd. You have all these guys. Oh, and for the record, for the record, I'm gonna shout out some Chiefs fans here, and I'm gonna shout out my fellow Ravens fans because we told y'all that Orlando Brown Jr. was not worth the money y'all paid him to be a left tackle. Listen, I get it. I do. His dad played left tackle for us. He wanted to follow after his dad's footsteps, but he ain't worth that damn money. And I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna say it. On the other end, quarterback in the NFC East, Danny Dimes, Jones, Vanilla Vic, as I like to call him. What the hell? I think I'm not gonna kick the kid to the curb and say he isn't the Giants' answer at quarterback or that he's a less talented Eli Manning doppelganger. I'm not gonna say all that. What I am gonna say is this is the exact opposite issue of what Joe Burrow in Cincinnati is having. This man doesn't have a true number one receiver. I'll say it. I'll be the first person to say it. Go get that man a number one receiver. Saquon's injured right now. I believe majority of their O line is hurt right now, but I'm not the expert on the Giants. If y'all want anything covered on them, I do talk about them on my channel, but follow my homegirl Mal on and follow her podcast. I believe it's the 13 Rings podcast, if I'm not mistaken. Might have that wrong, but I will link that down in the bio once I'm done uploading this. Yeah. So, other news, the XFL and the USFL merged to form one league. The XFL, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, has had three failed stints. First, there was a stint in 2001 where Vince McMahon created the XFL. The problem with the XFL then is that Vince McMahon tried to cross wrestling and he tried to cross football. Those things do not mix in the same setting. Now, wrestling, like a football player going to a wrestling event, yeah, that is all fine and dandy. It's great. Like George Kittle was at Monday Night Raw the other night. Shout out George Kittle. Tell your team to start feeding you the ball more, man. I am 1-3 in two of my fantasy leagues because they don't want to feed you and they don't want to feed Brees Hall. And that is just devastating. Uh, the second stint was in 2020. I'm not going to say what happened in 2020 because we all know what happened in 2020. And honestly, I don't like talking about it that much. It's in the past, it's a part of history, it's a negative part of history. But it did happen. And then we roll around to the third stint in 2020. I want to say 2022, 23. It was either 2021, in between 2021 and 2023. This is when Dwayne The Rock Johnson took over. I couldn't tell you what went wrong there. I think just the fundings went there. You know, a lot of guys were going in the XFL or USFL and then went over to the NFL. I believe Turpin for the Cowboys is a product of that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so that happened. Let me consult my notes. See if I want to cover anything else. So I do want to talk about something else that's playoff, MLB playoff related. The Baltimore Orioles won the AL East. And yes, I am going to brag about that because this is my channel. And we have not won our division in baseball since 2014. We have not had a playoff game in Baltimore since 2014. To put that into perspective for y'all, I was a senior, I was going into my senior year of high school that October. So yeah. And don't worry, there is going to be a full-on playoff baseball episode because when I was running the What a Play podcast with my boy Jalen, baseball isn't something that was one of the creative differences we had. He was like, I don't think people care about baseball that much. I was like, I think the people do. Now that I have my own channel on my own platform, I am able to cover that now. So you will be getting a full episode of that. I'll give you a rundown of things that are going to be coming up for the channel. Once I get done with some stuff that I'm talking about. And excuse me if I do sound rusty. This is my first time back in front of a camera in about 2 weeks. So, it does get to be a little daunting. And I'm not going to lie to y'all either. There was part of me through those 2 weeks where I was dealing with other stuff where I started to get a bit discouraged. And I was like, maybe the podcasting stuff isn't for me. But then I was like, no, this is something I want to do. I'm not going to let burnout get to me. I'm going to keep pushing forward and I'm going to keep putting out content because I know that is something that I want to do. I hope that is something y'all want to see. And I appreciate y'all sticking with me. We did pick up some new subscribers on the channel, so shout out to them. Now we got to talk about AEW. A little bit of wrestling. So, for those of you who don't know, over this past weekend, I believe, Adam Copeland, otherwise known as the Rated R superstar Edge, made his AEW debut during the main event of this past week's pay-per-view for AEW. The reason I say pay-per-view, I don't remember what the name of it was called, so my boy Joel, who watches the channel, he'll probably be able to help me out with that. Let's get one thing straight. Edge, Adam Copeland, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Hell, I got his damn Funko Pop sitting somewhere behind me on my headboard. But let's get this straight. Edge did not betray WWE. This man came back from retirement, right? Right? Thought he was never going to be able to wrestle again. And I remember how many emotions I had during this night because the same night that Edge returned in WWE was the same night that my favorite basketball player, Kobe Bryant, passed away. This man came back, gave us 3 years back in WWE, and now y'all are upset because he wanted to go to AEW to have one more run with Christian. For those of you who don't know or don't follow wrestling like that, Christian is Adam Copeland, aka Edge's in real life best friend for years. They were in WWE together. Christian went off, did his own thing in TNA, did his own thing in other promotions, came back to WWE for a while, went over to AEW. The reason Adam Copeland said he left is because he felt WWE had nothing to offer, and he wanted other talents to work with. And you know what? I'm not mad at that at all. I respect that. I wish Adam Copeland, aka Edge, all the best, and I will be tuning in and I will be watching. That said, content that will be coming up on the Fourth Down Forum channel. Like I said earlier, you are going to be getting a MLB playoff episode. Y'all are also going to be getting an NBA episode. If anything breaks on the NFL front, you'll be getting episodes on that because that's my favorite thing to cover. We might toy around with some college episodes, see how those do. I really need to get better on my end at pushing the channel and using social media to my advantage. Other than that, I don't have much to say. I wanted to get an episode out. It has been great being back in front of y'all. Um, I look forward to putting out more content for y'all, and I look forward to growing this channel. Remember, we are doing a giveaway at 200 subscribers. We are sitting at 168. So tell your friends, tell your goldfish, tell your family, get the word out there. I'm going to start promoting. I'm going to start tinkering around with some other social media apps. But thank y'all for sticking with me. I appreciate it, and I will see y'all soon.